All right, folks, week 11 is here. It got kicked off a little bit ago, and the Patriots are already up on the 7 on the Jets, and they are driving again. And right now, this Patriots team looks for real. I love the way Drake May is playing. I think they're very well coached. Their defense is solid. And I think with their schedule, they have a very light schedule. They still get Buffalo at home, but they've already beaten them once, and Buffalo is struggling right now. I think they have a real shot at getting the 1 seed, and this is a team that I think could go to the AFC Championship. But when we look at this Sunday, there are 2 monster games, one in each conference, that are going to really go a long ways to determining the playoff picture here in January. And I want to start with the Chiefs at the Broncos. This is a fascinating game for me, and I think this is the real first must-win the Chiefs have had in several years. If they lose this game, they're going to be fighting for their playoff lives the rest of the season. So I think they have to have this game, and this is going to be an interesting matchup because the Broncos, I think right now they have the best or second best defense in the NFL. And when you look at that, and they got Nick Bonito on the defensive end, and he is all over the place. When I watch him, it seems like every time I watch him, he's hitting the quarterback every single play. You contrast that with the Chiefs, who had 3 offensive linemen out, 3 of their 5 starters out the last game against Buffalo. Now, I don't know who's playing and who's not. I assume Josh Simmons will be back in the lineup, which will be a huge bonus for the Chiefs, but it'll be very interesting to see how that offensive line holds up against this Denver Broncos defense that's playing as anyone in the league. And on the flip side of that, as well as the Broncos have played this year, Bo Nix has not. And if you look at some of the stats, advanced stats, right now Bo Nix is ranked 32nd in off-target passes in the NFL, which is not a great stat to have. And I think he's propped up a lot right now by Sean Payton, excellent offensive coach, but he is really struggling. And he's had several games where it seems like he just can't hit a single receiver for 3 hours straight, and then he plays well for about a half a quarter. But if he plays like that on Sunday against the Chiefs, they are really going to struggle. So it'll be interesting to see if he can step up his play a little bit this week. The second one, we have the Seattle Seahawks at the Los Angeles Rams. I think these are the 2 best teams in the NFC, and if not the NFL right now. I think they're the 2 most complete teams that we have in the NFL right now. And if you look at Matthew Stafford right now, over his last 6 games, he has 20 touchdowns to 0 interceptions. That is an absolutely incredible stat. And he's got to be the MVP of the league right now. And I know I've said that about 4 different players over the last 5 weeks, but I think at this point in the season, he is playing better than anybody in the NFL right now. And on the flip side of that, you got the Seahawks, who I think are the most complete team in the NFL. There are no holes on this team. Sam Darnold is playing better than he has played in his entire career. And these are two teams. They have 2 more games versus each other, one this week in LA and then at Seattle later in the year. And I think these 2 games are really going to determine who gets the 1 seed in the NFC. So let's get to my picks. So I'm 18-20 on the season, coming off a tough 2-3 week, but I feel a lot of good. And there's a lot of road favorites this week that I really like, which is always a dangerous thing to do, but I feel good about it this week. So I'm going to start with number 1. I'm going to take the Bears plus 2.5 versus the Vikings. And I think these are 2 teams headed in opposite directions. And when I watch Caleb Williams, he just reminds me a lot of Josh Allen. He's not as big as Josh Allen, but it seems like he can take off and run with it about any time he wants. He's very thick. It seems like he can break a lot of tackles. He's got a cannon for an arm. I think he's just got to clean up a lot of the easy misses that he has throughout the game. And right now, when I watch J.J. McCarthy, he's just been super inconsistent. And when I watch him, he has 2 or 3 plays that really show me, I'm like, man, this guy is a good quarterback. And then he'll have about a quarter and a half where it doesn't seem like he can hit a wide receiver to save his life. And I hate the inconsistency that I'm seeing. And right now, I think if he does not step up his play over the next several weeks, the Vikings really have to be looking at themselves and thinking, is this the right guy for the future? Because they watched Sam Darnold in Seattle. They watched Daniel Jones in Indianapolis, 2 guys that were both on their roster a year ago, really succeeding. And now they see what J.J. McCarthy is doing, and they can't be pleased with it. So I'm going to take the Bears plus 2.5 at Minnesota, and I like the Bears to win that game outright. Number 2, I'm going to take the Packers minus 7 at New York versus the Giants. And I think this is a game that the Packers really have to have. I was at that game in Lambeau, and they couldn't do anything the entire time. I don't know what that performance was, but it seemed like no one was getting open. They can't run the ball anymore. We went over their rushing stats a week ago, and they just seem kind of lost on offense. They don't really know who they are or what they're doing. And I think this is a game that they have to win. They got to get some of their swagger back, and I think they're really going to take it to the Giants. Jameis Winston is starting this game. No Cam Scatterboo, no Neighbors. Those guys are out for the year, so it's a really depleted roster. And I think the Packers are really going to look to take it to the Giants. I'm going to take the Packers -7 at New York. Number 3, I'm going to take the Ravens -7.5 versus Cleveland at Cleveland. And this is a team that I thought was dead 4 weeks ago. They've now won 3 in a row. Their defense is much better. They've started to get some guys back. Lamar is playing very well. And this is a Browns team that is really eyeing the number 1 pick. And I just think the Ravens are going to take it to them this week. I think they see Pittsburgh in their sights. They're only 2 games back, and I think they're on a mission right now. I still think they're going to win the NFC North, but they have to have this game to do it. Number 4, I'm going to take the Broncos +3.5 at home versus the Chiefs. And I think the Chiefs are going to win a very, very close game. But right now, I don't like the way the offensive line is playing for the Kansas City Chiefs. And this is a very ferocious pass rush that they're going against. I think the Chiefs are going to win a very close game, but I'm going to take the Broncos +3.5. And number 5, I'm going to take the Chargers -3 at Jacksonville. And I do this knowing full well that Chargers, the 2 tackles are both out. But Jacksonville right now and Trevor Lawrence, I don't watch a lot of Jacksonville games, but every week I look at the stats, and it seems like Trevor Lawrence, 140 yards passing and an interception. And it seems like, I don't know how long they're going to go with this, where they still think Trevor Lawrence is starting quarterback in the NFL, but he is not playing well. I don't think they do anything particularly well. That was a monstrous collapse last week for the Texans. We'll see if there's a hangover effect from that. And I think if there's one team that's currently in the playoffs that's going to drop out right now, I think it's Jacksonville. And if you look at this game, the Chargers have the better coach. They got the better quarterback, and I think they're going to win this game handily. I'm going to take the Chargers -3 at Jacksonville. So that's how I see Week 11 going. Let me know on your thoughts, and we'll talk to everyone Sunday night.